Which one are you choosing? And we're gonna talk about it. It might surprise you. What is going on YouTube? I am back with another video, and we're gonna be talking about simply the inline 6 Hurricane V6 Charger versus the V8 Charger. And before I start, make sure if you're a V8 guy like myself, put the bias to the side and really hear me out. How and what I'm using to compare it may change your mind for the long run, because I'm telling you now, drag racing has made a major shift to turbos. Think about it. The fastest Hellcats, D-Man and ZH Tune, turbos. The fastest Demon, Bailey's Performance, turbos. Some of the fastest cars in the world, turbos. The world is moving to boost, just turbos. What is that inline 6? I hate to say it, I'm a V8 guy, but what we're gonna talk about is which one makes more sense and which one you would choose. So in the middle, we have numbers so you guys can see what I'm comparing. We're gonna have horsepower, cost, 0 to 60 time, quarter mile time, looks, because that does matter, sound, because that definitely matters, and then the term I came up with, modability, and we'll talk about some positive and negatives. The results might surprise you. I'm gonna be honest. But let's start with the horsepower. Of course, these are crank horsepower numbers, not to the wheel. Everybody knows our V8 Charger 392 6.4 liter Hemi comes with 485 horsepower, and the new inline 6 twin turbo V6 comes with 550 horsepower. I did get to see the underground tuning guys dyno the 550 horsepower Charger, and it came out to be 502, and it sounded terrible, but I'm gonna let you guys hear it on the dyno right now. Now you've heard them on the dynos. Obviously, it takes the answer to sound as well. The V8 sounds better. But what makes more power? 502 wheel horsepower, anywhere between 400 to 420 max to the wheel. This, inline 6, is taking it. Then we have the cost. This does matter. I think this may be a number 2 for most people, horsepower being 1. 55K MSRP, base price, for your new V6 Challenger. Yes, V6 Charger, sorry. That just doesn't even, $50,000 for a V6. That doesn't even sound right for me, because I automatically think about the GT Chargers, and it's just an ugly number. But that is fairly expensive for a V6 car. Now understand, twin turbos, you got BMWs, Mercedes, etc., who've been doing this for a long time to compete with, and that is a fairly good price when you're talking about competing with twin turbos from the European side of things. And then of course you have 48,000. This is 2023 brand new off the lot, and of course used comes out, you know, a little bit less, but 48K for 485 horsepower from a V8 isn't bad. It's the best horsepower per dollar you can buy is that Scat Pack. So cost-wise, your V8 wins. Positive outcome. Then we have 0 to 60, and the next two things I actually learned. Yes, we're comparing rear-wheel drive to all-wheel drive. I understand that. But the inline 6 Charger came out with a 3.3 second 0 to 60. That's fast. Yes, it's all-wheel drive, I get it, but that is fast. Be a hater all you want. 3.3 seconds in a 0 to 60 is supercharged times. Hate to tell you. That's just what it is. It's a whole second faster than our rear wheel drive love V8 Scat Pack Charger. I don't think Dodge necessarily puts the power down the best that they could technology wise, but you got a 3.3 0 to 60 second car. I think the all-wheel drive inline 6 is a 0 to 60 car. Everything after 60 miles an hour is just flat, in my opinion. Then we have quarter mile times, and this is where I had to do some digging, because I was like, okay, 12.2, that that doesn't sound right. It's only a tenth of a second faster than our 485 horsepower counterpart. What must it be? Well, it's the weight. They're a little bit heavier than the four-door Charger, and obviously top end on the smaller turbos don't really give you as much. So overall, they're about the same. And yes, this is where I'll also tell you the 1320, another version of a Scat Pack, runs 11.7 from factory on the drag strip. And I can't count it. Yes, I own the 1320. I can't count it because that's a package of that. We're talking a base Scat Pack that you can get from the dealership any time of the day, and the inline six wins again. But here's where we get to looks and sound. I think the new body style looks terrible. I'm gonna leave up a picture of the new body style. I think the front fascia and the rear looks like they tried to mix a futuristic floating car and the old Cuda and old Charger body styles. And I'm not a fan. I think the interior looks crazy, but they definitely upgraded the interior, but we were losing to Toyota Camry's interior with some of the interiors we had in the Chargers and Challengers. But then you go back to our previous body style where you have narrow and wide bodies, and I personally think we are at the peak of muscle car history. I don't think it's gonna get any better. I think we have peaked, and we're gonna see the fall off of muscle cars. I do. I think the big blocks, small blocks, Chevys, V8s, Hemis, etc., I think we've seen the end of it and we're at the peak. I think the wide body is the best of the best. So looks, our V8 takes it. And then sound. You've heard them both on the dyno. I got behind one of these and was disappointed. I got behind a RHO truck, which is the Hurricane Inline 6 truck, and I got a couple of videos in behind one of these and it sounded terrible. Your V8 sounds 10 times better. Our V8 wins. So now we are neck and neck, we are tied, and we're at mod ability. Now, this is coming from somebody who wants to go fast, who has had fast cars, who currently has a fast car. The term modability means what can be done to the car to make it faster from factory. What does it cost, and what are the ramifications of that? Like, how is it a if game or is it a win game? Does something actually go wrong? So with modability, for the V8 392s, they are somewhat stretched from factory, so you get all types of sayings about boost and it can't handle boost. The 392 can handle boost, but you're talking about spending a lot of change to not get that much wheel horsepower in general, no matter if it's boost, Pro Charger, 2650, Whipple, whatever it may be. There's a lot of money that goes in for a short amount of gain. Then our naturally aspirated builds, so everything but a boost, so cam, full bolt on, etc. You're gonna spend $15,000 to $20,000 to get 500 wheel, and this car already has it. Another 20K and you're at a Hellcat. It's probably just smarter to go buy a Hellcat if you want to truly mod a 392. Mod to Fame said it the best. If you ask me, how should I build my Scat Pack? I'm gonna tell you to sell it from here on out. I think it's too expensive to get too much horsepower out of it. It's pointless. Then you have the inline six on turbo. I learned a hard lesson. My brother Cody got a F10 M5, a twin turbo V8, and he ended up getting a downpipe and tune and gained like over 100 horsepower for like $7 grand. And then he went and got intakes, helped change some of the fuel and the tune, and gained another 50 horsepower. All for less than what I had into my full bolt-on build in my Scat Pack. Modability, they're gonna win every time. You can do downpipe, intake, charge pipes, in whatever it may be. You're gonna get more horsepower with a turbo, and then you can also upgrade the turbos to bigger. I'm sorry, I don't even like turbos. I'm a boost guy, I'm a supercharged car guy. But when you talk about true modability, it's what I said in the beginning of the video. Drag racing is going turbo. Your fast grudge cars are turbo. So who wins? Based on what we got, the inline six Charger wins. And again, my V8 guys that are diehard V8, hear me out. Based off this, our inline six wins. But hear me out, I know the V8 has a better sound. It's more of a heart to the car. It screams true muscle car. I got you, no problem. I'm not trying to sway you to buy this. I wouldn't buy the new Scat Pack Charger. I wouldn't spend $1 on it. I'm waiting on the Hellcat that comes out in 2027. But to talk positive and negative to leave off, it's very simple. The positive is we're in a positive direction to keep on the drag strip moving forward. Again, turbos are taking a hold of the drag strip world. The negative is you always get pushback with change. The other side is the car sounds terrible. Straight up, it sounds like a Krabby Patty mobile. I hate the way the car sounds. They gotta fix that. The positive here is we have seen the peak of muscle cars. Our generation, my generation, has seen some of the best, the 2000s up to now. Have seen your C6 Z06, our C7 Z06, the C8 Z06. We've seen the Hellcat, the Red Eye, both demons. We have gotten the best of the best in our generation. Those are our positive and negatives. Do with that information what you wish. Leave me a comment. If you got one for free, which one would you take? And we're talking about for the future. Let me know. We're out.